Occupy Wall Street's Declaration was possibly the most important document made in the United States since the Declaration of Independence. This declaration was made from the people, by the people, with no false representation of economic interests, but the representation of all that were present. The document was drafted and written with consensus, meaning that every line and word was brought about by a unanimous vote within the General Assembly. The voice that the document represents is that of all Americans who feel they have been misrepresented by our government and the corporations that have lobbied themselves in our government. These corporate bandits have lobbied to a point of being counterproductive to the typical American needs, the 99% of us who want simple, healthy futures. The government has been corrupted by corporate greed, and no one has been held accountable. The statement by Occupy Wall Street was met with a violent ousting of the protesters with total disregard to their personal property and physical well-being. The library of over 4,000 books and documents, the kitchen that provided free food to the occupants and the homeless neighbors, the tents, the sleeping bags, all these items were illegally destroyed by the police raid on citizens that were peacefully assembled. The pretense of people defecating in public, businesses being disrupted more from police barricades than protesters, non-reported criminal behavior, and illegal drug use all exaggerated disinformation in an environment where 99% of the people obeyed the law. Yet even obeying the law threatens the authorities because this free environment meant no corporations were welcome, no one seemed in control, and anarchy was dangerously parading as a democratic cancer. Nonsense. The illegal raid took place in the middle of the night without provocation and with a 20-minute notice to evacuate. The police have hidden behind a maze of hypocritical laws and permits that deny protesters the right to assemble and the right to voice their grievances within a true community. The Occupy Wall Street community was not only the truest current form of democracy, it was a spiritual community, where a shrine at the Tree of Life was destroyed and where meditation and personal reflection was attacked. Thus, people's right for freedom to worship was disregarded as well. Make no doubt about it, no matter what disinformation news media portray, the people have spoken. The majority of Americans understand their liberties are threatened politically and economically by corporate greed and illegal loopholes that do not allow true dissent or protest. The protests at Zuccotti Park were squashed just 45 days after the declaration by the protesters was released. This set off the alarms to those that the occupiers stood against. Before the statement, the movement was described as a directionless, leaderless group that didn't know what they were doing. Yet over 60 political coalitions joined together to form this so-called directionless revolution. Don't be fooled by the fact that no human life has been lost, like at Tiananmen Square. The same repressive forces are at work. Even now, in Liberty Square, the same police presence is still repressing the voice of the underprivileged, free thinkers, poor, and middle class of this nation. you ashamed of? Yeah. What are you ashamed of? Yeah, they should hide their faces. Shame on you.